चाह रहे थे।
जी जी पूछिए।
Now,
Yeah.
no, we have to stop. We have another now. Next ministry is on live. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Power doesn't corrupt people, it's the people who corrupt power. With this, I would like to call upon the next ministry, the Ministry of Rural Development. And the Treasury bench is being headed by Durgashri B. Durgashri and the team, I would like to call upon so that you can present your budget.
Can you give the access to Namita?
Sure, Namita.
Yeah. Namita.
Yeah, Namita, you can share the screen.
Namaskara, respected judges, Honorable Speaker Ma'am, and members of the opposition. We are presenting a budget for the Ministry of Rural Development 2023-24. I, the Minister of Rural Development, Durgashri, and with my junior ministers, Jasmita Shri, Nomita, and Amrita.
Rural development usually refers to the method of enhancing the quality of life and financial well-being of individuals, especially living in populated and remote areas. India's rural economy contributes to nearly half of the nation's GDP and is growing steadily. Our main idea for rural development: improving the quality of life of the rural population, to improve the infrastructure of the rural areas, to reduce unemployment by providing opportunities for employment, to provide clean water, education facilities, electricity, and proper communication. India is one of the largest populated country. Indian economy is developing and stands fifth on the global rank. The contribution of the rural economy is prominent as a vast population is still inhabitant of rural areas. So the budget allocated to our ministry is 1,57,545 crore and around of 1,60,000 crore.
The existing schemes we have took are the central sector scheme, the management support to rural development programs and strengthening of district planning process. The budget allocated for this scheme is 113 as usual. I mean 113.49 crores. So the centrally sponsored schemes are the National Social Assistance Program, the Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Schemes, and many more like this. So the budget allocated for these schemes are 9,636.32 crores.
So the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojan is the transfer to Central Road Fund or the Central Road and Infrastructure Fund. So the budget we have allocated to this yojan is 25,000 crore, and the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojan, which is the PMA Rural, the PMAY Gramin or the PMAY Rural aims at providing a Pukka house with basic amenities to all homeless people by 2024 with the use of sustainable and renewable sources. So the budget we have allocated for this yojan is 25,000 crore.
The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. This act gives legal guarantee of 100 days of wage employment in a financial year to adult members of a rural household who demand employment and are willing to do unskilled manual work. This is the existing scheme for the year 2023-24. We demand 35,000 crores for this scheme. So the new schemes we have developed are the Parishud Gramin Yojan. The first thing which comes under is the garbage and waste. According to this scheme, the government will collect the waste from every house, segregate the dry and wet waste, and the recyclable dry waste should be taken to recycle, and the wet waste must be composted in the village and shall be provided to the farmers. The drainage infrastructure, the village panchayat must ensure to check the freely flowing drainage without any floods. Every village should have a closed drainage system to ensure the health of the villages and the cleanliness of the village. The public toilets. The government shall ensure to build public toilets in every rural area, and also they must be maintained clean. Jal,
So the
water.
Jal or water. The village panchayat must ensure to construct a 1,000-liter water tank in front of every house. The waterman must ensure to fill all the tanks, and the villagers must ensure to use sufficient amount of water without wasting. We demand 45,000 crores for this scheme.
1 minute left.
The Saksharata Gramin Yojan. This is the education system in rural areas to focus on standard education with knowledge of English language, science and technology. We demand 30,000 crores for this scheme.
So the Department of Land Resources. Department of Land Resources is implementing two schemes, namely Digital India Land Records Modernization Program and Watershed Development component of the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana is Government of India is committed to accord high priority to water conservation and its management. To this effect, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, which is PMKSY, has been formulated with the vision of extending the coverage of irrigation, Har Khet Ko Pani, and improving water use efficiency, more crop per drop, in a focused manner with end-to-end solution on source creation, distribution management, field application, and extension activities. As the scheme remains the same, we have allocated a budget of 2,300 crores.
Thank you. Thank you, the Ministry of Rural Development, for presenting your budget. Now, I would like to call upon the opposition to ask questions.
My first question is in regard.
We have Arsh. Please begin.
My first question is with regard to the MG Narega Act. Why is there a cut on the MG Narega Act fundings, and will not this affect the employment in the rural development?
Arsh, is it possible for you to switch on your camera? Great, you can move ahead.
Yeah. So there's a cut in the Mahatma Gandhi Act because according to the results, there's 7.7% of the people who are unemployed in the rural areas. So I felt that this has been reduced from before. So like this funding must be sufficient for the unemployment so that so everyone will get equal job opportunity. I hope this answers your question.
No, I don't think so, because in India we require 1 lakh jobs every month. So would it be enough 60,000 crore to provide a population of 1.4 billion?
Yeah. So I know. So like we have distributed it to everything. So we thought that this would be sufficient because we had to concentrate on the other. So for this time, it was 1,60,000 crores. So I felt that there should be a development in other kind of things also. So we have just reduced the budget for the Mahatma Gandhi.
But don't you think that the stable income is the need of everyone, and then only they can push for any other needs? and employment would increase the GDP by creating more jobs. Why don't you
Um,
agree?
Yeah, so I know. So like I will. I guess 40,000 was. I mean 35,000 was enough money, but maybe it should be increased. But I feel it's sufficient.
Okay, so on to the next question to Atulya.
Yeah, so my question is that you are providing 100 days of ensure employment to the rural people, but don't you think like in a year there are 365 days and only 100 days are they are getting employed? So what will how do you expect के GDP increase हो जाएगी why when they are only working 100 days?
Yeah. So when they're only working 100 days, according to this act, it was developed before at 2005. We have not like developed that act. So I feel 100 days in a day, it's a wage employment. I feel it's like it's 365, though it's 365 days, 100 days, if you work, at least you can get employed and, get skilled or um, and go for more job opportunities.
If they could go for more job offers, why would they need to come under this act? And also, you are saying that you haven't developed this act, so it is your job only to develop it. It's not anybody else's job.
Well, Atulya and Durgashri, you have 1 more minute left.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. So yeah, I know it's a problem, but I feel that nowadays their job opportunities in a different way. So, most of them don't come for this kind of act, but though they come like people who are unemployed, though they come, I feel this is sufficient, 100 days, so that they get a good uh, job or employment, and then they can proceed, for the future.
Yeah, so why is private sector not investing in this sector? Is it due to lack of your meetings that you are not doing, or corruption? What is the problem? Why is private sector not involved?
Can you repeat?
I am saying, why is private sector not investing in this sector? Is it due to corruption?
The private sector is not investing. I don't think so. It's due to corruption, but Jasmita can proceed.
So, like, can you just brief your question? I did not get your question, like, exactly.
The question is simple, that why is private sector not investing in this sector? Is it not that it is due to corruption, or it is not giving returns? And I think both are.
So we think, like, our team think it's not really to the corruption, and I think the private sector is really not like
You are on mute.
Yeah. So the private sector, I think so. It's not due to the corruption, because it's basically the redirecting of the company resources. I hope this answers your question.
I think you were revolving around my question about corruption, and you could not answer the question correctly. But let's move on to the next question.
Yeah, sure.
Are you sure that money invested in this sector is creating jobs or is leading to corruption? And why not the agriculture agriculture sector is growing is due to lack of infrastructure of what? The agriculture sector employs more than 50% of our people, but only generates 6% of the GDP. So are you
Yeah,
the cause that we are still a budget deficit country?
Yeah. So can you please repeat? I'm not able to get your point.
The question was that even agriculture sector employs 50% of the people of the country, and it only generates about 6% of the GDP. So why is it not growing? And is it due to the lack of infrastructure or what?
Yeah, so it's not growing because actually due to the lack of infrastructure, maybe due to budget
So
and
my questions are
the
answered then
agriculture.
that your sector is not working properly then, and that leads to corruption now. You henceforth said that the it is lack of infrastructure.
No, I'm telling that it's not due to lack of infrastructure.
Okay.
So my question is, so where is all the money invested going if you cannot build infrastructure in the rural villages and rural farms? So where is the money going? It is essentially corruption only.
1,60,000 crore of the country
Yeah,
wasted. So
so
are we the reason that we are are you the reason that we are a deficit budget country?
no. So we have allotted for this year, we have put more concentration on the Parishad Gramin Yojana because once all the kind of problems which are faced by the rural areas get lowered, then automatically you can see a development in the rural area. So the rural areas also lead to the development towards the urban area. So I feel that once we put concentration on the villages which has problems, when they start developing, then maybe the surroundings and the other urban areas and the rural areas start to develop easily. I hope this answers.
So
Okay, Atulya, go on.
okay, so you are essentially saying that it is because of the urban areas that rural areas not getting developed.
No. I am saying that start like the rural areas, if they start to develop, then the urban areas also automatically they start getting developed easily. So, for example, if the rural areas, try to start to develop easily, the urban areas also move efficiently.
I think
You are
what
just contradicting your point only. It is your job only to develop the rural areas and henceforth, as per your point, develop the urban areas, and we are not seeing any development. Rural sector contributes only till 30% of the GDP of our entire country in the last year.
Yeah.
Well, sorry for interrupting. Atulya, the questions, though your questions are really nice, but the questions which you are asking, they are very much related to corruption. They are related to other topics like agriculture and corruption. But rural development is something beyond that. And my question, I also want to ask you a question, Durgashri, that I'll ask you a question to
Yes,
the
sure.
topic only. You were talking about the development of the rural area, but development can only take place when the government know the needs of the people in that particular area, and they can only know it when the local governments like the panchayat bodies are performing their jobs nicely. Though there are local bodies like Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat, which are responsible to make a committee and to conduct meetings on a regular basis. But meetings in these villages of India don't take place on a regular basis, hence they are deprived of the needs of what people want. How will you make sure that meetings are taking place at a regular time, at a regular interval, and properly, and people are participating?
Yeah. So that's why for this time we have allotted 45,000 crores for the Parishad Gramin Yojana, where it comes all this. So we will ensure that everyone are meeting by creating awareness in every village, so that everyone follow the things and the government knows what are the needs of the people. So when they start implementing the policies on the needs of people, automatically they start to develop, right? So maybe.
So do you think that you will be able to provide pakka houses to all the people in the rural areas with a 25,000 crore budget till 2024, as there are more than 50% of them not having them?
Yeah.
How are you looking to
So,
this?
can you repeat?
Arsh, I would like to answer this question of yours, because though your timings are over, so we can have a discussion because the next team is not there. Even you know that government is doing its job in a proper way. The money, it's a huge sum of money which is being provided by the government for the rural development. You, Atulya, asked a question that where the money is going. We all know that the money is going in the wrong way due to corruption. That was a different thing. Providing rural houses, there were certain schemes by the government of providing cylinders to all the houses, providing electricity. Was that fulfilled? No, it is still in progress. In the same way, providing pakka houses to every individual in the village, that too in a particular year, is completely out of the box, completely impossible. It will take time, and India is a developing country. Developing means going in progress. Hence, you cannot expect the government to fulfill the needs of every individual within a day, within a week, or within a year. It will take years. I'm not denying. Corruption is also there. Time-taking process are there. Hence, we'll have to wait for the, the
So why did
utopian
you set
vision
the
we are
goal to
having.
2024? It could be 2030. So is it for the votes?
No. Just a second.
Every year there are goals which are being set by the government, out of which only few get fulfilled. This year also, we know
This
that
shows lack of the sector.
no, it's not the lack of the sector, it is the lack of information and knowledge. And that too, when we talk about the common citizen like you,
So
me,
whose
and
responsibilities? Whose
it's
responsibilities to provide the information?
everybody's responsibility. You cannot just point out the government. You cannot just point out the illiterate people. You
So
cannot
do
just
I
point out
do I
the
expect
common
the
citizen.
expect the defense sector to educate the farmers, or the rural development sector to educate the farmers? Who is it to be responsible then?
Look, everyone has their own role. You cannot expect the defense sector to fulfill the requirements of some other thing, because defense,
That's
its
what
own
I am saying. You came to the right point now. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. You
I was at the right point that time also. I am saying that when you ask me a question regarding who is at fault, everyone is at fault. Every individual, be it literate or illiterate.